Reggie, amazing to talk to you. I hope you're well.
Great. So good to see you, Jill. This is
Nice to
great.
see you. So I want to start off with your involvement coming together and pulling this together. I know that part of the interviews were pulled for Oprah's interviews. So was that a starting point? Did you have the idea for the documentary and then you found out about Oprah and came that together that way? Or did she have this idea and seek you out?
Right. I was actually approached by the production company, Network Entertainment, and they have been talking with the Potier family for a while, and they had finally gotten the rights to do the first ever documentary on the life of Sidney Poitier. And they approached me about directing, which was like, yes, that's a dive on the grenade must do assignment. I immediately felt very protective, actually, because Sidney is so important to me that I was scared that someone else might mess it up, because I cared so much about every phase of his career and his life. So I got involved, sat down with the Potier family, talked to them about my approach to storytelling and how honest I wanted to be about his life, and they embraced all of that. And then as we're getting going, I thought, you know who would be helpful with this? Let's call Miss Oprah Winfrey. So we reached out to Oprah. She immediately said yes, which she doesn't normally do. She normally thinks things through very carefully. But in this case, she had such a close relationship to Sidney. They spoke every Sunday. So this was a no-brainer. So immediately she came on board, and she not only had appearances of Mr. Potier from when he was a guest on her show, but she had also shot this masterclass interview with him. And normally she does not get involved in those masterclass interviews, but in this case, because it was Sidney, she was there and she kept asking more and more questions. And finally it was to the point where Sidney was like, I'm tired, I need to go home. And she said, okay, but you got to come back tomorrow. So it ended up developing this 8-hour, 2-day long worth of interviews where Sidney told every bit of his life. And that interview became the spine of the movie. So Sidney got to tell his own story.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Hi, Reggie. So I want to touch a little bit as we talk about going over the full scope of the man. There was a period where a certain segment of the Black community sort of turned their backs or had a different sort of feeling for Sidney than what we initially started off with and working through that period. And it's something that we still grapple with our stars of today who are far less noble, I guess, in the sense that Sidney was. So can you talk a little bit about that period of his life and what you learned in having these conversations and delving into that aspect?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really thought that part of his life was very important because, we care, right, as a people, right, and we demand a lot of our stars, of our celebrities, right, because we have so little. So it's like, look, you're out here, you're representing us. We want you to represent us. We want you to break through certain barriers. But wait a minute, where are you going now? What you doing? Right? It's like the old Chris Rock joke about, oh, you got a master's degree. Oh, well, now you my master, at a certain point of success, we start to question that success. We start going, well, wait a minute, how have you betrayed us as a people to go that far? Because we don't see how you went that far. And you go, and it's sad because that reflects a disconnection to us understanding how power works, how success works. We can't just go, well, why did they get that far? Or maybe because they're talented and they worked hard, And also there's that thing where you go, Sidney is leading the culture, right? He's on the battlefront in Hollywood, the same way Martin Luther King is on the battlefront in terms of politics, right? Everyone's fighting the same fight in their respective fields. And Sidney is so successful, he changes so much so fast that the movement actually moves faster than his ability to make movies. So by the time he's making Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, he knows that by the time this movie comes out, people are going to flip on him and be like, oh, you're a sellout. But think about that. First of all, he was so tuned in to where the culture was that he knew that the time, the 2 years it takes to make a movie, cut it together, put it out, that he would be too late for certain Black audiences. But he didn't bail. He didn't say, I got to quit this movie because he believed in the message of the film. And he was ready to walk away from all of it. That's an amazing thing. That's a long-range vision and a belief in a philosophical stance that's bigger than making a hit or not making a hit. And he knew that in the fullness of time, he would be validated, and he was right.